Mr Deputy President, since my election in March, I have often spoken about what a privilege it is to represent the people of New South Wales as a Member of Parliament. We have the ability to do so many things and change so many lives as we sit and listen and talk inside the walls of this Parliament. Perhaps one of the greatest privileges afforded to us is the ability to bring matters of importance to the attention of the House, for other members and for the public, and have them written down and recorded forever. Tonight I feel compelled to offer my thoughts on an issue that has been dominating the news. The image last week of the 3-year-old Syrian boy, Aylan Kurdi, will stay with me forever. As he lay dead on the sand, water lapping around him, I was struck by that photo. He was lying in the same position as my daughter does when she is sleeping. My daughter, who is lucky enough to live in this great country, sleeps on her tummy, sometimes bum in the air, but safe in her cot. As a parent, I can only imagine the horror of realising that your child will be left sleeping like that for eternity. That the hopes you hold for them as you quietly watch them play, or the unending dreams you have for them as you rock them to sleep at night, will never eventuate. That this child died along with his 5-year-old brother, Galip, and their mother, Rahan, only makes this story more tragic. While just as distressing as the thought of the 5 babies, all aged 1 or under, who perished off Christmas Island in 2010, the image of this helpless child with so much potential ahead of him has drawn the world's attention to a refugee crisis of unprecedented scale. According to World Vision, there are 12 million Syrians who have been misplaced by the fighting in their region, a bitter civil war, half of whom are aged under 18. Indeed, like the unforgettable Pulitzer Prize-winning image of a 9-year-old girl burned by napalm, running naked down a road in Vietnam, it is often the suffering of children that finally moves us to action. And a spokesperson from Save the Children has said that Aylan's death is not an isolated incident. It is not the first time this has happened. It is merely the first time it has been captured for the world to see. I struggle to imagine the desperation that would drive a parent to put their children on a small boat to cross a stretch of ocean like the Aegean Sea. The quote shared extensively over the weekend by British Somali poet Warsan Shire has stuck with me. He said to us all, "You have to understand, no one puts their children on a boat unless the water is safer than the land." As a mother, that is a horrifying thought. Now, I don't wish to dwell on the cause of this tragedy because in many ways it is irrelevant, but it must be said that the barbarity and evil of Daesh or Islamic State that has caused these families to flee. Both Christians and Muslims are being slaughtered, not indiscriminately, but by ideological design. More than 340,000 people fleeing for their lives have arrived in Europe this year alone, most landing in Italy or Greece. We are so lucky to live in this great country, and so we have to help these people. I congratulate sincerely both the Premier and the Leader of the Opposition for taking a bipartisan approach to the refugees fleeing the brutal conflict in Syria. I am grateful for their leadership on this issue. And we have seen this kind of leadership all around the world. Pope Francis has asked every parish, every monastery and every sanctuary to take in one refugee family. A simple expression of our Christian faith. Germany has pledged in extra spending the equivalent of nearly 10 billion Australian dollars for the next year alone to relocate migrants and refugees in their region. And as thousands of people gathered around our country last night to demonstrate their grief for the situation, and I'm sure for Aylan and his family, it has become clear that we too are being called to do our part. The distance between Australia and the conflict zone has led some people to speak of this as a European problem. But the image of Aylan Kurdi lifeless on the beach has shown us that this could not be farther from the truth. This is not a European problem. It is a global problem of unprecedented scale, claiming innocent children's lives, and we must act now.